The first location is the mountains of Idre, northern Dalarna, Sweden. I think I found a composition behind me here before my feet get frostbite. Might be that I was too late with finding the or framing up the composition here. I'm gonna go up early, and I think I'm gonna go back up to the mountain. If it isn't too cold and too windy, I'm gonna take more clothes on me. And hopefully Good morning. I didn't bother to drive out for sunrise. Well, the sun is rising now, but I didn't drive out earlier since clouds everywhere. No chance of color. I'm back up at the mountain here. I saw a composition behind me here yesterday, but right now I'm not really that sure that it's actually going to be any good, since the light is coming from behind the hill now, so it's really nothing hitting the scene that I had in mind, and the sky above it is going to be a lot brighter, so well, it isn't going to work really that well, I think. I'm thinking maybe I should go up to where I photographed yesterday, try to capture something there again. I have a little bit more clothing on me now, so perhaps that could work today. Well, I can see a composition here. It's not really a super awesome composition, but it is a composition. So, and it's framing a big mountain here, and we have the sun behind it, and at least it's something. It's not excellent, but it's something. The only thing I'm worried about is whether or not I took a long enough lens for this. The longest I took with me is 85, and the reason for that is basically that I want to frame more of a scene rather than a portrait of what we have in front of us. So going a little bit wider and trying to incorporate a little bit more to create more interest in the image. And with interest, I'm not talking about the wow factor, but rather the amount of time that you find interest looking at an image. If you print something, hang it on your wall, then you want to be able to go past and see more and more things for every time you look at the image. And that is really interest instead of wow factor. Well, I decided to shoot this as a panorama, just to try to include more on the sides, and having the mountain itself centered, it could create a little bit more of a visual interest. The sky isn't really that good looking, it isn't impressive in any way, but I might be able to painting a little bit more of a side light on the mountain, which could create more interest and make it look a little bit better at least. Yeah, but I'm really starting to feel the chill coming in, especially on my feet. I'm not really that impressed with the light at the moment, and what I would have liked is to actually hike higher up and deeper into the mountains in order to try to find a different view and better compositions, but I don't really have the correct gear for it. This trip was really meant as a way for me to gauge how much clothing and equipment I need for a winter trip, and I certainly need more, especially on my hands and on my feet and my face. And I need a bigger backpack to carry, so that I can change layers and things like that. Yeah, well, as I said, sky's not looking too good, so I'm thinking I'm going to go drive down from the mountain, down from the wind and the cold. So I'm in the nice snowy forest again. Something squeaking on my backpack. I'm sorry if you find this a little bit boring, doing the exact same two locations twice in a row, but I actually tried to see if I could find something else, but didn't really see anything that caught my interest. So I'm thinking I have a little bit better light now than we had when I photographed last evening. So hopefully I can find a new composition and use this slightly improved light in a good way. The composition that I decided upon here is completely different from the one that I photographed yesterday. With this one, we're having the mountain that I photographed earlier today in the picture, and basically framing the mountain with the snow-covered trees pointing straight up towards it. So it's kind of framing the mountain in a way and trying to incorporate everything into a nice scene. In a scene like this, every inch counts. So just moving a little bit to the left or to the right can make or break the composition. So I'm pretty much done up here at Idre now. What I'm gonna do is to go back to the hut where I slept last night and spend a little bit of time with my friends there. Then I'm gonna start to head south down to the heart of Dalarna, where I'm gonna stay for a couple of days. So still a lot of photography to come from here from Dalarna. That's my childhood home, but I have never really been back to photograph it properly, so it's going to be really interesting to see how that is going to turn out, having a couple of days to just practice photography. We've just arrived at the trailhead for the next location, which is called Snowfallet, a waterfall out in nowhere basically. I've never been here, so it's going to be interesting to see how it looks. From the images that I've seen, it looks like a beautiful waterfall. Yeah, I'm not sure how far it is to hike in, or how difficult it is, or anything. But we're gonna have to hurry a little bit so that we can get in there before it gets dark. Well, I guess the adventure to Snowfallet is over. Never really found it. The thing is that I slipped on a bit of ice and I plunged both my feet into the brown, murky, disgusting water, so I have wet feet. And well, I just realized that the microphone jack broke, so no more good audio on this trip. That sucks. Fell here, slipped on the ice there, plunged my feet into the brown, murky, disgusting water just there, damaged my vlogging camera. So yeah, I think the microphone and everything seems to be alright, but that does not look promising. Yeah. Well, found the waterfall. I decided that I didn't want to give up, even though I had a bit of hardship. So I found the waterfall, but it's frozen. So this is all for nothing. Camera broken for nothing. I'm not even gonna take out the camera to photograph, because honestly it isn't even remotely what I wanted. It's frozen. I don't want to photograph solid ice. The only positive with this is that I'll probably come back to the car before it's dark, at least. So that I'm disappointed is an understatement. remember to like and share if you've enjoyed this video, and subscribe in order to stay tuned for the next episode.